Hello, dear friends. We are glad to welcome you once again on Alatra TV Middle East. In today's live conversation, we will talk about the model of society where each and every person would feel happy and secured. What conditions should be created in such a society for a comprehensive development and personal fulfillment for everyone? And of course, what makes us humans? And what should we do to make a human life the highest priority in the society? Before we start, I'd like to address our dear viewers. Please feel free to leave your comments and questions in live chat on YouTube, and the most interesting ones will be asked at the end of the broadcast. Also, don't forget to share your vision of creative society and invite your friends by sharing this video on your social networks with two hashtags Creative Society and Alatra Unites. And to those who joined us recently, I'd like to say that Alatra International Public Movement has launched a unique project which is called Creative Society. People from more than 180 countries of the world are conducting social surveys to find out how people envision their society where everyone would be happy and whether they want to live in a creative society. Today's live conversation we'll host together with Kate. Hello, Kate.
Hi, Olga. Thank you very much for such a lovely introduction of the project and of our today's live conversation. So, yes, guys, I also would like to add that throughout this project, Creative Society, we're also testing a theory of six handshakes. So, by this theory, all people in the world, just imagine all people, every one of us, is connected with each other through five or even less social connections. So, for example, I could be knowing someone from, let's say, Zimbabwe, right? And all this by the help of my friends that I know, people that I got connected with. So today's live conversation is a bright example of such a theory working in action because our special guest today was invited by one of our friends, by one of our guests from the previous live conversations. So thank you very much, Anshal, for inviting Miss Gurleen for today's live conversation. And also, I would like to say that our special guest is also invited to another very, very interesting broadcast that will be held this weekend. This will be the roundtable on psychology, and which is called Jivan Git, the Song of Life. So right now, I would like to introduce you, our dear audience, to Ms. Gurleen Khokhar. Ms. Gurleen is a psychologist and transformational speaker. She's also principal of Windsor Preschool and Daycare. Hello, Ms. Gurleen. Thank you very much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Hi, Kate. A wonderful hello, and thanks to Alatra TV for bringing me live. And I'm so glad and honored to work for betterment of humanity and represent India on terms of human life. Studying human behavior has always been my passion, and living life with passion is one key statement that I follow in life, and that's required. The zest to life is only better if you actually imply in what you actually think. So I think I always affirmed that I'll be working for humanity, and what a better chance it could be to represent myself through Alatra TV. Thank you so much, Kate, for welcoming me on board this beautiful journey, and I wish to even meet many beautiful souls on this journey.
And thank you very much, Ms. Gurleen, for accepting our invitation and for joining us today. And right now, I would like to start our live conversation with probably the first question and a short introduction. So, Ms. Gurleen, you are a psychologist, you're a transformational speaker. You communicate with a lot of people, young and old, and like different people from different fields of human activity. And also, you develop yourself and you help to develop others. So, could you please share with us what motivated you to start this journey? Could you please share your story, like what brought you to the point of where you're at right now, and what inspires you and motivates you every day to wake up and do what you really feel you need to do?
Yes, Kate, I think this is the very first time globally I'm speaking about my life at a platform where I feel it's very important to talk about my story, because I feel that it can inspire not one but millions of people around there. So I'm very happy to even connect to people across all the countries, and I'm very, very happy that what has inspired me is a spiritual call. As a young kid, I always felt there is something more to life than what I dream of. The analysis of my dreams always used to come true. And I used to see my parents. My father comes from a defense backdrop. He has been serving the Indian Air Force. And I feel so happy and honored to state that he won a gallantry award. So his heroic deeds have actually inspired me. When he could save many lives, why could not I take a profession and be upright there serving the human mind? Because I think it's the most complex thing right now for studying, and so many researches have been conducted on the human brain, that people still are searching for that satisfaction to live a quality life. And I truly feel the other reason which inspired me to take up this subject was, somewhere my mother, she was born and brought up in Africa, and she shifted to India. And I truly feel that the vast amount of experiences when you shift from one culture to another culture, one from one place to another place, and have a bold outlook, it just changes and it just makes the other person evolve in life. And as a kid, I always learned that punctuality, discipline, hard work, it brings results, but traveling on the path of truthfulness will always take a little more time than short keys to success. These days people are falling for short term money, short term glamour, short term fame, short term attention seeking behavior. I truly was never a child seeking attention. I was the elder child in the family, and I always felt that I had to take responsibility. I have to take responsibility as who I am. So the character building started from, I think, the grooming period of my being a toddler. And after that, when I actually mastered in psychology, always felt that maybe this is the calling for me to just be on platforms. And I started my platform Soch Ki Udan Desh Ke Naam when I was undergoing my divorce battle with an army officer, and leaving that man in uniform, by being brought up by a man in uniform to be inspired by men in uniform, was my wake up call. And I truly feel that being a psychologist, I was trying to set an example that every kind of relationship is not to be judged, analyzed, and we all have a journey in life. We all have to stand up for ourselves, and we all have to grow by weeks and by days and by hours. And every time the walk is not going to be smooth, my dear friends, the ones who are watching us. Even psychologists need people around them, because when they are dealing with relationship issues, they also face such kind of traumatic experiences which they have to clear their mind from. So I felt during my walk of life through the divorce battle that there is something that wants me to write my story in the newspapers. So I have been published in many newspapers and many magazines as a woman of substance, have received many various achievements and titles. But these things never actually brought me to this level where I'm today representing myself on this Latra TV. Why? Because I always felt till we die, we have a lot to do. It's like we have enough to do for the betterment of humanity. The coming generations should learn from our experiences, and they should not fall over thinking that there is a dogma in society, or there are superstitious things in societies which people are blindly following. So there is a trend of the journey of my life that I felt needs a call. That call has to be through the media channels, which actually bring me to the forefront as a defense officer's daughter. And I truly feel very honored to state this, that my father would be privileged and honored to see this episode, because I feel that relationships was one area where I always felt that I had this spiritual energy guiding me, that you can patch many relationships, and you can actually deal with those cases where they're having sexual issues, or they're having some issues which are not talked of in the foreign countries or in India itself, because it's a big taboo. So I was invited to many platforms, whether it was Break the Taboos, and when I conducted my events, Soch Ki Udan Desh Ke Naam, I started Difference Makers, another WhatsApp group, and Hello Conversations, a deep talks show, which is inspiring the educational souls, inspiring people all over the world. Foreigners are coming in touch with me. They're coming on my love seat to talk about those things that are not about their achievements. It is about them, who they are as a person, what are they doing in their life to instill the courage, the confidence, and the empathetic attitude that we are losing in today's current scenario. We are all walking a race of, copying and imitating people. We are having our own stories. Why can't we talk about our own experiences? So my life is a amalgamation of a beautiful experience of staying in different places all over India, and I visited London as well. So I have seen a broad spectrum of the cultures, the backgrounds. I've dealt with those cases who always shy to talk about their own personal experiences, wherein it comes very easy for me to have that kind of energy and that positivity, that if a person comes to me, I build a rapport with them, I build friendship with them. Because there is a taboo that in India, if you visit a psychologist, you are totally mad. You have to be a mad person to visit a psychologist. But in foreign countries, I believe it's a concept that's very good. I mean, America is depressed. Many people, majority of the people in America are depressed. I totally agree on this concept that psychologists and psychiatrists go hand in hand. People should not fall on drugs as easily. They should have behavioral analysis done by psychologists, so that can lead a better example in society. And like two needles of the clock, they work together to make a quality living. I think that shaped my thought that, we need to emerge in the current scenario where there is stress in every field, in every profession, in every relationship. And as per the modern scenario is concerned, everything is being guided by the technology. So I think the tech thing is taking a toll on the human minds as well. So my life in short has always been inspired by my dad, my mother, and my sister, who's a gold medalist in women's studies and a double masters. We both sisters, I think, have had the courage to always be there in different fields, whether be it dance performances, whether be it hosting events, or whether be it writing in papers. Or I'm so happy that I have been dealing with few cases in London of schizophrenia, of impotency, of erectile dysfunction, and working with a physician to three former presidents of India, Dr. Mohsin Wali, has been a great experience itself. And I feel that if there are certain things that I can talk about and people can ask me, I would be able to narrate it very beautifully. And I am soon going to be on board a book which is by Jocelyn Bellows, a storytelling person from America. And I'm very, very thrilled to be on board that journey, because I feel if my life can be written by someone, and through me, if it can be inked in someone else's book, it would be wonderful to touch arenas of others' thought process. And it's always inspired me to think that why people act the way they do. So my cup of tea always is full of those experiences of people's stories. And I feel that I was made to actually inspire not one but millions of souls across. And that's one reason. And I took away the wings of my father to attach them to me, to fly for not only myself, to make others also fly in this world. Because in every nook and corner there are youngsters sitting across who are deep down dying with substance abuse, drugs, and certain energies that are going destructive for the humanity. And I totally agree that love begets love. We have to give unconditional love to every soul. And if we can connect without thinking only about the monetary angles, we still can help a lot of people. So my walk was not easy, because the name, as being a celebrity figure in India, I totally agree that I have never fallen for ego. So I will always feel that I have never won the crown of ego. I feel it's a teamwork. If today we are representing a concept, it's because of all those people who are connected to us. I can never forget my roots. I can never forget my ancestors. I can never forget my grandparents. And that's one thing we need to realize, that all of the years, wherever we grow, whatever we do, we have to balance our emotions. We have to respect every soul, every gender, and we have to come across as a courageous person to take the step, even if it is against the society for a while. Because there are some things that we need to talk about and we need to initiate as a leader to represent the reality. So I stand with the truth, and my spiritual awakening is always with the honesty angle. So I always feel that my call to see many gods, I've had conversations with Lord above, and I feel that I today can heal many souls who walk by and take help of me. And it's not one, it's not five, it's not 10. There are many people who are surrounded by me and they say that your positive vibes actually attract us to you. And the way I hold my Deep Talks show, which is there on the Facebook page of Hello Conversation, moves the people to attach themselves to me. And if this is the medium Alatra TV, I'm so happy that I need to talk about people who are emotionally disturbed and they cannot control their behavior and their mindset in today's lifetime where satisfaction is being lost. We don't have contentment. We are not contented with one person. We are not contented with one element in our life. So I am actually here to talk about the angle of satisfaction, ego, and how relations can be made better, how love is actually multiplied when you actually only think about giving and not expecting anything in return. So my area of thought process is always giving. It's like I would not say my life has been a sacrifice. After and during the marital divorce battle, I feel that it was a beautiful chapter. I am because I am today because of the person who was in my life, and I feel that every tragedy actually makes you feel more stronger and attaches a lot of integrity, a lot of responsibility, and a lot of pitfalls teach you how you overcome them. So if you remain stagnant in one corner, you are never rising. So my thought process is always related to my school as well. I studied in Punjab Public School, Nabha. Onwards and upwards is like an eagle, their motto. So I always feel that there is more to the skies. There's more to what I vision. So my vision is very large for humanity. It is there that it might affect the adults, it might affect the youngsters, it might have respect for the elders. And I feel my story is actually an inspiration. I've written report works which have won national awards, and I feel that there is a lot that I have to do. I have a lot of passion for writing, I have a lot of passion for speaking. So I became transformational speaker just on the call of that spiritual call, that I need to be there for people who don't have a voice, the ladies who are married. They're suffocating their lives. They do not want to take a step to move out of their marital journeys just because they are subjugated by the societal dogmas, what other people say in life. My dear viewers, if you're watching me, what others say will never matter to the humanity at large. What is good for your mental health is what you have to realize. The happiness is not what you get from others, it is from within you. You have to understand, analyze, and through journaling your thoughts every single day, you will come to know where you are committing follies, and you can correct and rectify your behavioral patterns, my dear friends. If I could, then why cannot you? So Kate, this is something that has always inspired me, and I think my story is just going on. The years I live, I'm sure that I will be making a difference. If through Alatra TV, it's even more wonderful. Even if I'm called to the office of Prime Minister in the future, I would be honored to be there representing every area of relationship and how people can make their lives better.
Gurleen, thanks a lot for sharing your story. And thank you once again for your sincerity and honesty. I know it's not
Yeah.
popular in the society to share harmful experience. It's popular to share that everything is positive and happy. You see bloggers all over the world, what they are showing in their Instagrams and so on. And something which you are doing is helping to women to understand that their lives are not that dead end. They can change something, and this inspires very much. Thank you for sharing that. Actually, in your story you already answered my question. I wanted to ask you, what is happiness for you? And now it is very clear that this is something you create by yourself. So could you tell me, what is love to your opinion?
Well, I believe that love is something that's, again, I have a spiritual angle to love. Love has no definition. I truly believe love is all about giving emotional expressions to the experiences of life. I define it as that. I mean, I feel love is friendship. Love is beautiful. You don't have commitments in love. When you have commitments in love, it pressurizes the human brain, and it is conditioning of the brain to a level which is always that there is a boundary set. Love doesn't have a boundary. It is always having an open horizon. So when you dive in love, people mistakenly take that love. If you love someone, you actually don't possess that person. You don't possess a soul. You set the soul free. Now, when people enter into relations, they always have a thought that we would love to club them inside. So when two people are getting knotted, they always feel that they're conditioning under the particular thing that they are knotted, and they're pressurized for commitments and responsibilities. Wherein I feel, why cannot they just marry for being friends? Love is all about friendship. It's just as comfortable, as easy as anything else. If you are free to live a life with someone, and someone is not judging and analyzing you, that's love. Love doesn't need many flowers and presents or something that you have to state and propose, and then only it is love. Love is from within. If you feel that you're satisfied with what you are doing every single moment, that defines love. Love for music, love for writing, love for a friend, love for a car ride, love for something that you want to have a cup of tea, love for expressing anything that you can easily do to someone is love. And love can be in any relationship, it can be in any form. It could be love for a book, it could be love for an object, love for the environment. And I totally agree that people are just stereotyping this concept that love has to be a particular thing. People are trying to say that love is this, but love has no boundaries. To me, love is setting yourself free with someone who also thinks that you can achieve and you can progress with whatever you are having. So love is basically nourishing a seed of thought that is positive, progressive, and is impactful for the betterment of humanity. For me, love is this.
Thank you so much, Gurleen, for sharing, your understanding. And it is so sincere and so fulfilled. And I totally agree that love cannot be based on some kind of conditions that you're going through in life, or love is something that is pure, that is inside, and that you are ready to share with the whole world. It doesn't matter
True.
where you are at or what you're doing. Once you have this love inside, then everything that you do is filled with it. So thank you
Exactly.
very much. And right now, I would like to ask you to share your vision of creative society, the society of happy people, where people can be where people could feel secure, could feel comfortable, and also to have this love, will have this love and will share it with others. So what do you think, what to you is a creative society of happy people? Could you please describe it?
Yeah. So, well, the creative society, according to me, has to start from an awareness of implying the thoughts, and that have to be started from the home itself. For me, creation begins at home. Whosoever it is at home, whether it is from the kids, from the adults who are there, it starts from the very second a child is born. So, for me, creation is that. And from every angle, if a mother teaches the kids the real value of every single moment and practices the unconditional gift of those experiences that she has led, and doesn't pass on the statements of that you have to live our dreams, that would be a happy society, because from there things will start flowing in, and those educational institutions would be again not an easy game for us to believe in, though, but the educational souls have to imply this in action for the creative society to go in for a larger vision, because the educational souls have to have a certain amount of training in reading the human minds, and they should imply psychologists for creating a better world. I believe that, because when you talk about education, it should not only be the bookish knowledge in the creative world, it should be something more than that. If a child is not able to cope up with the studies, maybe the potential of energy is somewhere else. So someone has to tap that potential, and only the psychologists in the creative world can bring in a difference, or the educational souls hand in hand can make this happen. With it, I also would love to state that all the genders, irrespective of who's a transgender, who's a lesbian, who's a gay, they have all the equal rights. So when we all respect each other's differences of opinions, we actually stand together united. Instead of bullying people, instead of eve teasing people, instead of remaining in confused state of mind, which is not a correct idea for a creative society, one should pick up certain kind of hobbies, some kind of activities that they truly are inspired from, and that can actually lead to a satisfaction angle in every area, in every profession, in every field of creating another vision. So it is not necessary that a particular person failing in studies cannot be good in other areas. So creative society could fit in that ways that you can try to build that potential around those souls who are not very great in certain aspects but too good in other aspects. Talent has to be tapped. So for a creative society to do wonders, one has to see why these platforms are coming up and why people are sharing their stories on different in different ways and on different platforms, because there is a drive for lack of attention. People are not getting enough of love. How can someone be happy if their energy is within themselves and they are not knowing how to channelize their true potential? They lack guidance. So with counseling centers set up everywhere, every nook and corner, telephonic helplines, and honestly giving time investment to the people who are coming to you would create a better society with happiness in the mindset. Because you cannot impose your rules on someone. One has to be disciplined according to the laws of every country, every state. But for creating a creative society, one has to have many facets coming along, which can be, in connection with one another. It can start from the home to the various phases of life one enters into. So that could connect, and also networking. I mean, communication, expression. That angle can always work wonders for having a creative society, building up larger network, because it could act as a global union, and people can start reducing the hatred feeling against certain kind of cultures and backgrounds people are coming from. They can start having the thought process that, oh my dear, we should not instill fear in our minds. We can connect to people from Ukraine, from Switzerland, from Russia, from India. That's what the mission of creative society is all about. So being a psychologist, unity is one thing that one should stand for. Happiness will only automatically come when we know where we are heading. So a lack of guidance cannot create creative wonders. So I totally feel that these areas can be dealt with by certain amount of training potential given to people. One can actually involve psychologists from all over India and can continue, sprinkling the sparkles all over the country so that they can attach the meaning to life. People have lost the meaning to live a quality life. So how can someone be happy even if someone is very rich, filthily rich? One cannot have that peace when he's returning back home. The relatives are not speaking, the family is not speaking. So what is lacking is the training part, the guidance, the communication part, and the love part, the unity. These five things, I believe, can sum up for a creative society. Tapping in the true potential could be run through activities, could be run through the events, and people should be given platforms to come. Even the homemakers should come forward. The ones who are in toxic relations, the one who have been physically abused, they should not be tagged. Mental health issues should not be tagged, and it should not be a taboo anymore globally as well. If someone is in depression, it's just a phase. We need to just help that person, we need to help that soul. And in creating a creative society, we need to walk the theory of mental health wellness. Only then can we have wings of happiness, and only then can we have a vision to actually not think about those yesteryear stereotypes and remain there stagnant, because any amount of stagnation is not leading to growth in the future, whether it is for you yourself or for the nation at large.
Very good thoughts. Thank you for sharing, Gurleen. Yeah, in this society, I feel I would be happy as all the people. I would ask you to dive in a very important topic of creative society about educational system. How do you see the educational system in a society where every person is happy? How should it function so every student and also a teacher or a professor as well could develop their best qualities and grow professionally and personally?
Yeah. So the educationists need to realize that they should not rely more on teaching based on the assessment techniques. I truly feel you should take every soul as an important soul in the class and also have less of the students in a class, because what I feel in today's time period is in Indian society, I don't know about the foreign countries, I truly feel that the academicians should understand that the ratio of the student and teacher, if it is too large, the quantity, they cannot inspire many people at the same time. It requires a lot of time investment to understand a particular soul. So if there could be 25 kids in a class, that was there in the yesteryears, they could still follow that routine wherein a student interacts with the child and there is more of a human value attached. When a parent talks to a child, there is an expression, there's a line of communication. So when a teacher builds on that level with every child, then there is an attachment with the guru. As we say, teachers are our gurus. They teach us what we cannot learn from other people. So the next home is a school, as an educational institute. It's your alma mater. So if I have to say, I have to say that the teachers need to be addressing not the harsh incidents to the kids. They should be themselves counseled first to get into a realm of teaching. They should be having true assessment of their own passionate teaching to the level, if they are not passionate enough and if they are supposedly, if they've just been forcefully brought into the role of teaching someone, how can there be happiness? If someone wants to be a teacher, that's fine, they can still teach children and they still can become something. But if someone has just entered the profession because so and so's parents said and there is a pressure of society, how can the world change? I don't see a change in the educational system. Even if there I have come across many people who have, I mean, very less of the people have told me that, Gurleen, we are in this profession because we wanted to be in this profession. How can they make a difference in society if they are not in the correct profession? So in educational system itself, there are so many teachers coming out from B.Ed colleges, from good institutes, but half of them are not actually made to teach. So the effectiveness of teachers have to be actually analyzed. Where are we going wrong? So the
Mm.
analysis has to be done at the initial beginning so that the educational setup actually changes for it transforms the whole vision of how a student can achieve the true potential of the experiences of the teacher while teaching in a class. And it should not be only focused on the subject matter as much, it should be on based on the environmental and disaster techniques or something that's more than what we can say, that we should condition them to also face disasters in life and come out of it. We should have more of disaster management classes also in the educational institutes. That is one segment which people have failed to realize, that we only teach kids to live a better life, a hunky dory life. No, no, no. If you face a failure, how to come out of it is to be taught in the schools. And then sexual education. Kids are not knowing what is the difference of bearing a child, or how a girl undergoes that process. Kids and the small girls should be taught about the menstruation stages and all that stuff, which is actually not talked about openly. Because if there is restriction of any sorts, there are young kids falling into the angles of drug and substance abuse, alcoholic addiction. I have been dealing with cases and I feel so sad to see the plight of those kind of potentials that could have actually worked for betterment of humanity but have landed up in disasters. And they're coming from filthily rich backgrounds where people have no time for their own kids and they feel that it is very cool. They term it as cool. It's not cool. It's something
Mhm.
that you are actually creating a loss for the nation. You have to understand that you have to prioritize your work. Your children are the gift of Lord. They will become the future generation. They will lead the country for betterment. If you are not giving them time and you are only bothered about your own selfish interests, boss, the world is going at a stagnation. And we need to understand as educationists, I'm a principal, we need to understand with the modern concepts coming in, we need to be tech savvy, we need to be this, but we need to be not forgetting that there are values to be instilled in kids. So there should be value classes. There should be less stress to the religious angles, because people take religious things to a level, and there are a lot of fights and wars happening over that. I totally believe, let's respect all the religions, come together. There should be classes which should be teaching the unity in all kinds of concepts, so stress should not only be on the books. It should be more on the activities that let the child develop holistically. So that would be something that would be a fantastic transformation for the educational souls, to learn and develop that kind of a channel of communication. So I'm so sorry to state that in India, the educationists have to actually be really putting in a lot of time for this to happen, because the real teachers should come across as teaching, and not the fake ones who are actually there because of certain pressures. It is better for them to leave that job and get into something that can actually transform someone in that field. That is my take as an individual, because as a principal, if I can make a child come across as someone who can be self sufficient and independent, that would be leading the country for a change. It could not be that you just are there because you are there on the chair because you want to have some glory or some kind of a fame. No, I don't walk that journey, because that journey is short lived. It's not giving you happiness. Happiness only will come when you are not tired of your work throughout your life, and whatever years you are living by. So that is my answer to the educational system, that they really need to not pressurize kids so that they don't commit suicides over the percentages, over the marks. And they should just focus more on how they can build their true potential by studying those subjects that are of their interest, not forced upon them.
Thank you so much, Gurleen. You touched very, very important topics of, very important points of the educational system, and it's not only in India or in Ukraine; it's worldwide, and this is probably the consequences of the consumer format of society, where, for example, a person has to work in the field where he doesn't like. He doesn't want to work there, but he has to because he has to make money and make money for a living and things like that. And the same goes for every sphere that we have nowadays, every field of activity of humans. So um, in the creative society, it will be differently. In the creative society, people will be free to choose their profession. People will be free to teach their kids, teach their friends the best values, and share those values with others, to inspire each other and to be inspired by others as well. And also, as for me, I think the creative society will be a society of people who are who like to explore the life and the world and each other from the practical side, not just to think about how it can be, but go and try and do, right? And just try it and
Very
see whether you like it or no, and then develop further. And also, I would like to say that in order to build a society of happy people, in order to build a creative society, we all have to be united by one goal. And you also beautifully mentioned that we all have to be taught how to unite in, despite all the differences, religion, I don't know, skin color, political views, and things like that. So, and the basis of this unification, of this goal, is actually the 8 foundations of the creative society that have been published on the website allatraunites.com on the 18th of May 2020. They were published in the article, which is called The Foundations of the Creative Society and the Stages of its Construction. So right now, I would like to shortly introduce you to these foundations, and our technical team will gladly show it on the screen. Thank you so much. So the first foundation is human life. The second is human freedom. The third is human safety. Fourth is transparency and openness of information for all. The fifth one is creative ideology. The sixth one is development of personality. The seventh one is justice and equality. And the eighth one is self-governing society.
And
Oh,
I'd
that's
like to
one.
open Yeah, please continue, Gurleen.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think the eight components seem to me the eight wonders of the world. I believe that it's been segregated very, very aptly, and everyone can come into focus by being active part of these eight segments. And I'm very honored to be a part of this.
And we are honored that you join us. And I'd like to open a little more Fifth Foundation, Creative Ideology. Ideology should be aimed at popularizing the best human qualities and stopping everything that is directed against a human. The main priority is the priority of humanity, high spiritual and moral aspirations of a human, humanness, virtue, mutual respect, and strengthening of a friendship, creating conditions for the development and education of a human with a capital H, cultivating moral values in each person and society, prohibition of propaganda of violence, condemnation and denunciation of any form of division, aggression, and anti-human manifestations is the most aim of this foundation. And I'd like you to ask Arlene, what do you think about this foundation, the creative ideology?
Well, the creative ideology, I believe, is very well set up in the thought process of a human mind for bringing in a difference in the society. And that has to only take place with serious souls walking in and trying to have some strategies worked in so that they can actually they can actually see where things are wrong in the society and they can change those ideologies and those concepts. I would not say that immediately things will happen, but they will take time. But if there is a creative ideology created by Lata TV and they have these segments working in and they collaboratively have the teamwork which can work in wonders, then actually they can actually stop a lot of crime from happening. A lot of a lot of souls can be saved from the harm that is actually being there in this on this planet. So I totally agree with this creative ideology because you have to have certain amount of ideas to strike a chord with. So this creative ideology can have a larger vision with the segments that are attached to it. So I totally agree and I totally honor this creative ideology. Whatever has been created is for transparency of working in ways to help people.
Thank you so much, Gurleen. And also, probably popularizing the best what we have inside of us, right? And sharing it with others. And this way, motivating others, empowering others, and just doing the best what we can do for each other, not just for us or for our ego, but for others. And also, I wanted to ask you, what do you think? How important is the implementation of these foundations in all spheres of human activity? How this can help to probably decrease the level of violence and decrease the level of mental health issues, how the implementation of these foundations can change the world for the better.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Kate, for the fact that these creative ideologies have been connected to each other for a purpose. And for this larger vision, we all have to come together on various conferences, various activities, various events, wherein we are bringing in some experts from various corners, from every nook and corner. And they have those vast experiences. If they can talk about their own personal experiences, that can set an example of letting the other person know that there are no barriers to thinking the way they are thinking. When I share my personal experience, I do not want to be judged, analyzed, but I am confident, I'm courageous, so that's why I'm doing it. So if there are ideologies created for betterment, then we can decrease the violence only if we talk about it openly on platforms. And when there is the conditioning of the mindset of a larger section of people, then obviously they will start following it. Sooner it could be just 100 people, then there will be 500 people, there could be 5,000 people, there could be 50,000 following that network of ideas that are being told by few of the souls who are coming on this platform with these ideologies in sync. So I think these creative ideologies will decrease not only the violence in its segment when we talk about those harsh experiences, because these days I've come across people who are ready to share their flip side of life. They can talk about their toxic relations, and it's not that the world is not changing. There are mindsets wanting to talk about how they were physically abused. There are people who are wanting to pen down their stories in the books and be open about it, so that there are people who are lurching in corners in every segment, and they can come out openly and perform very good in the career and rise in the career, and then find another meaning to their life to walk into another life and create a difference in the society. So we can not only work in decreasing the violence, but we can work in letting the analysis of a human person be known. It's a self analysis. If there's a conference going on, someone sitting and hearing us could be the person who could just self analyze his own experience and can relate to your experience, or someone experience, or my experience for that matter, and could be inspired to change that ideology what he's already having in his mind. So that ways creative ideologies are already connecting its goal to the purpose of representing not only your thought across my thought, and in amalgamation all other people who are viewing us, and it is already creating wonders. I do not believe that only one set path will create wonders. It is always different angles coming in, and with time we need to be updated about many things. Like if there is something that we are missing on, we can always talk about that, so that it decreases the stress factor in a human behavior, and in the human mind. It's such a beautiful thing that it needs study every second. Every emotional reaction has a purpose, and why we act the way we react, and why we are who we are has an identity. So we are working in to believe that there are many assumptions, many theories, many research works done on human behavior, but these are the main segments. These eight are the wonders where we can make things happen. We can connect people to these eight segments, and we can work on having activities around these segments to decrease the amount of stress that people are having sitting at their homes. We can connect to them. We can have some speakers coming across and inspiring the audience. We can have those sessions around. So I believe that there are innumerous ways possible to just enlighten a soul sitting anywhere. So if it is through creative society, it could be just wonderful, because who knows from where one seed is turning out to be a tree that is branching out for the betterment of humanity. That's my take personally.
That's true. It can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
I would like you to ask a very final question. Would you like to live in a creative society?
Oh, wonderful. I would just love to just dive into creative actions, because myself, I'm a very creative person. I believe in aesthetic sense, and I believe that a lot of creative souls can actually bring in a lot of new innovations, discoveries, and a lot of true potential can actually come across as something that can be proving wonders for this world. And as a global scenario, we see there are more of the talented people whom I meet across, and they are still sitting at homes and they're doing nothing about it, and they're sulking. So I feel being a part of the creative society can give you an edge anytime, because I feel that if you have it, you flaunt it. I believe in this game. If you really have that spark, why are you not coming out? And if it is that it is there and there is nobody who's guiding you, then it is the creative society right up there guiding you, and it's already doing great wonders.
Thank you, Gurleen. I can't describe what a pleasure I get from communicating with you, with such a person who is already into creative society so much. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's my honor. It's my honor.
Yeah, to join creative projects of the ALLATRA International Public Movement, our dear viewers, please visit our website, allatraunites.com, where you can see the red button, Join. All you need is just fill in a very simple and easy form, and you will join the Creative Society project by yourself too.
Thank you very much, Gurleen, for sharing your understandings, sharing your experience and your ideas. And also thank you, Olga, for co-hosting today's interview. And right now I'd like to address to our viewers guys, if you would like to participate in such live conversations, you are always welcome. Please write to our email, which is uae@allatraunites.com. Or if for some reason you don't have a possibility to connect with the video camera and just talk live, you can also join the live conversations on radio. So for that, you are welcome to write to the email info@allatraunites.com. And also, please share these live broadcasts with your friends, inspire each other, and join the Six Handshakes initiative, because the sooner we talk to all people all over the world, and the sooner we will start living in the creative society. And Gurleen, right now, I would like to ask you, who would you like to nominate for the next live conversation? Who do you have in thought maybe that you could invite for such an initiative? Maybe someone from your colleagues or friends that would like to participate in the live conversation.
Yes, definitely. I would love to nominate. I would love to take the person's permission and then take the name, because I believe in respecting the other person's, integrity and everything. So I would definitely love to not connect you to one, but connect you to many souls who are working for the betterment of humanity. And that would be one promise that I do, because I feel that there's a lot to be done, and I'm totally inspired by the work that you all are doing, Kate. And this Elatra TV is a wonderful medium of expression for what is goodness in life. If you have something to do, just do with your plain, pure heart, and just believe that love, if given, it multiplies. And what better it could be that if I share my contact with you for who's going to be the next speaker, could actually raise another soul to a greater height. So I would definitely get you in touch with those souls who are doing marvelous work out here in India and across wherever I can. So feel free to connect to me post this session. I will definitely share and do wonders for this creative society.
Thank you so much, Gurleen. Thank you one more time for joining us today, for taking your time, and thank you for bringing this. I would say ray of sun, ray of light to our channel.
Thanks a lot. So before leaving, I would just love to say to the viewers who are watching us that stay positive, stay progressive. Never believe in restricting your potential just because of the society of others, because you are having a unique potential that you yourself know is within you. So delve deep within you, and if you cannot, then you take the help of mental health wellness experts, and who knows, your flight of thoughts takes you to another wonder.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good wishes. Thanks again, Kate. Thanks again, Garlene. Thank you,
Thanks,
our dear
Martha.
viewers, and our technical support as well for this broadcast.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon on Alatra TV Middle East. Bye bye.
For sure. Bye bye.
Bye.